In a shocking turn of events that has sent ripples throughout the NBA community, an insider report has suggested that the Golden State Warriors are exploring the possibility of pairing two of the most iconic figures in basketball history, Stephen Curry and LeBron James. The rumor, which surfaced from a respected league source, has ignited an uproar of speculation, debate, and excitement among fans and analysts alike. For supporters of the Los Angeles Lakers, the team LeBron currently leads, the revelation lands as both a stunning surprise and a potential cause for concern. Could this signal a new era in Golden State, or the beginning of the end for LeBron's tenure in Los Angeles? The basketball world is buzzing, and the implications could be seismic. The alleged discussions within the Warriors organization reportedly center around the idea of creating an unprecedented superstar partnership between Curry and LeBron, two players who have defined the modern era of basketball through their dominance, rivalry, and influence on the game. No official confirmation has been issued by either side. Neither the Golden State Warriors nor representatives of LeBron James and Stephen Curry have publicly commented. Yet the mere suggestion that these two titans might join forces has been enough to electrify the league's atmosphere. For years they have faced each other on the grandest stages, from multiple NBA Finals showdowns to All-Star appearances, and now fans are daring to imagine what might happen if they stood on the same side. Stephen Curry, the undisputed face of the Warriors, is revered for revolutionizing basketball through his mastery of the three-point shot. His ability to bend defenses, shift momentum with a single flick of his wrist, and inspire confidence throughout his team has made him not just a star, but a symbol of modern basketball excellence. The thought of adding LeBron James, a player whose resume speaks for itself, to a roster already built around Curry's brilliance seems almost unfair to the rest of the league. LeBron, a four-time NBA champion and one of the greatest all-around players ever, brings leadership, vision, and a physical dominance that no other player his age has managed to sustain. For the Lakers faithful, this rumor stings. LeBron is more than a player in Los Angeles. He is the centerpiece of the franchise's identity in the post-Kobe era. His arrival in 2018 reinvigorated the team and led them to a championship in 2020, restoring the Lakers' golden standard. Yet as he enters the twilight of his career, the whispers of trade talks or alternative destinations cast a long shadow over the team's future. The possibility of seeing LeBron in a Warriors uniform alongside Curry sends shockwaves through Laker Nation, a painful reminder of how quickly fortunes can shift in the NBA. The idea of a Curry-LeBron partnership is nothing short of a basketball fantasy. Strategically, such a combination would create an offensive juggernaut that few teams could ever hope to counter. With Curry's unmatched shooting and LeBron's court vision, strength, and playmaking instincts, Golden State could easily redefine what it means to be an offensive powerhouse. Analysts have begun debating how such a duo could function, imagining LeBron acting as the facilitator and secondary scorer, while Curry maintains his role as the primary perimeter threat. Together, they could manipulate defenses like chess masters, controlling tempo and exploiting mismatches with surgical precision. However, the reality of such a union is complicated. The Warriors are a team deeply rooted in chemistry, system basketball, and financial constraints under the NBA's salary cap rules. Bringing in LeBron James, even hypothetically, would require significant roster movement and financial maneuvering. Moreover, there's the question of ego management. Two of the biggest stars in the sport sharing the same locker room, both accustomed to being the face of their respective franchises. Would LeBron be willing to defer some spotlight to Curry? Would Curry adjust his leadership style to accommodate another legendary presence? These are questions analysts are already dissecting from every angle. Meanwhile, within the Lakers organization, there's a growing awareness that time is running short. LeBron has hinted that he intends to play alongside his son, Bronny, once he enters the NBA, which could occur in the near future. The idea of him leaving Los Angeles, whether through trade or free agency, no longer feels impossible. For a franchise that has always thrived on star power, from Magic Johnson to Shaquille O'Neal to Kobe Bryant, the thought of losing its current superstar to a conference rival as fierce as Golden State would be a bitter blow. Fans have already taken to social media expressing mixed emotions, some dismissing the rumor as nonsense, others bracing themselves for what might come. The timing of the rumor couldn't be more provocative. As the new season approaches, speculation is at its peak, and every move by front offices is magnified. The Warriors, still seeking to extend their dynasty after years of success and struggles, may view such a bold move as a way to reignite their championship aspirations. For LeBron, joining a system led by Steve Kerr and built around selfless ball movement could extend his career while giving him another shot at a ring. Yet, from the Lakers' perspective, allowing their franchise cornerstone to walk away, especially to a Western Conference rival, would feel like a betrayal to the fan base that has embraced him. While the story remains unconfirmed, its ripple effect is undeniable. The NBA thrives on narratives, and few storylines are as compelling as the thought of LeBron James and Stephen Curry joining forces. The last decade of basketball has been defined by their duels. The Cavaliers versus the Warriors, the King versus the Assassin, the power versus the precision. Now, the idea that these two could stand together rather than opposite each other turns the basketball world on its head. As speculation intensifies, the Lakers' front office must confront an uncomfortable reality. If this rumor holds even a shred of truth, the franchise may need to prepare for life after LeBron. The balance of power in the Western Conference could shift dramatically, and Lakers fans, accustomed to greatness, might soon face the possibility of watching their hero wear the jersey of their most dreaded rival. The line between fantasy and reality has never been thinner, and as the rumor spreads, the basketball world watches with breathless anticipation, waiting to see whether this is merely off-season noise, or the dawn of a shocking new era in the NBA. As the speculation surrounding a potential Curry-LeBron alliance continues to dominate headlines, the conversation has evolved beyond mere curiosity. It's no longer just a what if, it's a question of consequences. What would such a partnership mean for the Lakers, for the Warriors, and for the NBA itself? Inside Los Angeles, the mood among fans and analysts is one of nervous anticipation mixed with disbelief. The Lakers, a franchise built on glamour and star power, suddenly face the unthinkable. The possibility of losing their face of the franchise to the very team that has defined their modern rivalry. For Lakers supporters, it's more than just basketball, it's a matter of pride, legacy, and identity. According to insiders close to the situation, the Warriors' interest in LeBron James stems from a desire to maximize the final years of Stephen Curry's prime. Curry, now in his mid-30s, remains one of the most dangerous offensive weapons in the league, but time waits for no one. Pairing him with another veteran superstar like LeBron could give Golden State one last window to chase championships before the inevitable decline sets in. Meanwhile, from LeBron's perspective, joining forces with Curry would provide him a chance to compete for another ring while reducing the physical burden that comes with carrying a team deep into his 40s. Yet, for the Lakers and their fanbase, the thought of such a move feels like a betrayal, a seismic shift that could redefine the Western Conference landscape for years. In Los Angeles, the narrative surrounding LeBron's future has always been intertwined with expectations. When he joined the Lakers in 2018, he did so with the promise of restoring the franchise to greatness, a promise fulfilled when he led them to the 2020 NBA title. Since then, however, inconsistency, injuries, and roster instability have tested the patience of even the most loyal fans. The 2025 offseason has brought renewed scrutiny to the team's direction, especially with the rise of younger stars like Austin Reeves and the emergence of new offensive systems under coach J.J. Redick. Some believe LeBron's style of play no longer aligns perfectly with the team's evolving philosophy. Others see him as irreplaceable, the living embodiment of championship DNA. That division among fans mirrors the ongoing debate in sports media. Analysts like Paul Pierce have gone on record suggesting that the Lakers should consider benching LeBron or even trading him, arguing that the franchise must prioritize the future over nostalgia. In his words, for the Lakers to move forward, they might need to move on. His comments sparked outrage among Laker Nation, where loyalty to LeBron runs deep. Yet beneath the emotional reactions lies an uncomfortable truth: the Lakers' long-term plan remains uncertain. Can they rebuild around young talent while still honoring their commitment to their superstar? And if LeBron were to leave, whether by trade or choice, would that departure signal a new chapter or the end of an era? For the Warriors, however, the idea of bringing LeBron into their system has its own risks. Golden State has spent over a decade cultivating a culture centered on teamwork, humility, and collective excellence. Introducing a personality as commanding as LeBron James could disrupt that delicate balance. His leadership style, vocal, assertive, and demanding, contrasts with Curry's calm and self-effacing demeanor. Steve Kerr, known for managing strong personalities, would face his biggest challenge yet in merging two basketball geniuses with entirely different temperaments. The media storm alone would be unprecedented. Every game, every timeout, every glance between the two would be dissected for signs of friction or harmony. Yet even with those potential complications, the allure of such a union is undeniable. Imagine Curry orchestrating the perimeter while LeBron dominates from the paint and facilitates plays with surgical precision. Imagine transition offenses fueled by LeBron's vision and Curry's range, forcing defenses into impossible situations. It's a basketball purist's dream, and a nightmare for opponents. For Lakers fans, however, that same image feels like heartbreak. The thought of their franchise icon wearing a Warriors jersey, hearing MVP chants in San Francisco instead of Los Angeles, is enough to make even the most rational fan uneasy. Behind closed doors, league executives are reportedly skeptical about the feasibility of such a deal. The Warriors are already deep into the luxury tax, and fitting LeBron's massive contract into their payroll would require parting ways with key contributors. Names like Andrew Wiggins or even Draymond Green have surfaced in speculative trade scenarios. The Lakers, on the other hand, would demand a monumental return for their superstar, one that could reshape both rosters. Still, history shows that when superstars want something badly enough, the NBA has a way of bending reality to make it happen. Meanwhile, within Lakers Nation, the debate continues to intensify. Some fans are clinging to optimism, dismissing the reports as off-season drama designed to stir engagement. Others are preparing for the worst, convinced that LeBron might view Golden State as the ideal destination to chase one final championship. Social media has become a battleground of emotions, heartbreak, denial, and even anger directed at management for not surrounding LeBron with enough help. The whispers have become a storm, and the Lakers front office finds itself under immense pressure to either reaffirm LeBron's commitment or risk losing control of the narrative entirely. What complicates matters further is LeBron's silence. Known for his calculated communication style, the King has neither confirmed nor denied the rumors. His social media activity, always scrutinized by fans, has been unusually quiet. Some interpret his silence as indifference. Others see it as strategic, a power move to test the Lakers' resolve. After all, LeBron has always been more than a player. He's an institution. His presence dictates franchise decisions, affects television ratings, and shapes entire team identities. If he's truly considering a move to Golden State, it's not just a player changing teams, it's a tectonic shift in the sports hierarchy. For now, Lakers fans remain suspended in uncertainty, torn between loyalty and reality. They've witnessed eras come and go, from Magic and Kareem to Kobe and Shaq, and now stand at another crossroads in the franchise's storied history. Whether the Curry-LeBron partnership ever materializes or fades into rumor, the impact of this speculation has already left its mark. It has forced both the Lakers organization and their supporters to confront a difficult question. What happens when the king decides his kingdom lies elsewhere? As the rumor mill continues to churn, the potential Curry-LeBron alliance has become more than a sports headline. It has evolved into a cultural phenomenon. Talk shows, podcasts, and fan forums are dissecting every angle, every hypothetical lineup, and every potential trade scenario. In Los Angeles, the tension is palpable. The Lakers fanbase, accustomed to both greatness and drama, finds itself grappling with mixed emotions. Pride in LeBron's legacy, frustration over the team's inconsistency, and fear that their star could soon be wearing the colors of a rival they have learned to despise. For many, it's almost unthinkable. The rivalry between Golden State and Los Angeles has defined the Western Conference for years, and now one of the most polarizing figures in that battle may switch sides. The conversations within NBA circles reveal how delicate the situation truly is. According to league insiders, discussions about a potential deal between the Warriors and Lakers are not formal negotiations, at least not yet. Instead, they are speculative talks about fit and feasibility. But even the idea of LeBron and Curry sharing the court has executives across the league recalculating future strategies. If this partnership were to happen, it could reset the competitive balance of the NBA, potentially creating a new superpower that rivals the dominance once seen during the Kevin Durant era in Golden State. For the Lakers, however, such a scenario could mean a rebuilding phase sooner than expected, a direction that few fans are ready to accept. The emotional weight of this speculation is magnified by the history between the two franchises. LeBron's Cleveland Cavaliers and Curry's Warriors faced off in 4 consecutive NBA Finals between 2015 and 2018, creating one of the most memorable rivalries in basketball history. Those battles weren't just about championships, they were about legacy. LeBron's relentless pursuit of greatness clashed against the Warriors' precision, teamwork, and revolutionary style of play. To see these two forces unite under the same banner would feel like rewriting history itself. For Warriors fans, it would be the ultimate fantasy. For Lakers fans, a bitter reminder that loyalty in professional sports is often temporary. Adding fuel to the fire are recent comments from former players and analysts. Paul Pierce, always outspoken, doubled down on his stance, arguing that the Lakers should seriously consider moving LeBron while his trade value remains high. If you're building for the future, Pierce said, you can't do it with 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You either commit to LeBron fully or you move on. His remarks have drawn criticism from Laker legends and fans alike, but they echo a sentiment quietly shared by some within the league, that perhaps the Kings' era in Los Angeles is nearing its natural conclusion. Still, many within the Lakers organization insist that LeBron remains untouchable, a cornerstone whose presence is essential not just on the court but for the team's identity and brand power. Meanwhile, Kevin Garnett, Pierce's longtime teammate, has taken the opposite stance, defending LeBron's importance and leadership. In his view, LeBron's influence transcends statistics. When LeBron speaks, everyone listens. Refs, teammates, even opponents, Garnett said. That kind of presence doesn't just vanish. You don't trade that, you build around it. For Lakers fans, Garnett's words resonate deeply. They reflect the sentiment of a fan base that still believes in LeBron's magic, still remembers the championship parade of 2020, and still clings to the idea that one more title is within reach. The contrasting opinions between two NBA legends mirror the broader divide among fans. Half convinced the team needs a new direction, the other half unwilling to imagine life without their leader. Beyond the emotional and strategic implications, there's also the business side of basketball to consider. The Lakers are one of the most valuable sports franchises in the world, and LeBron James remains one of the biggest draws in global sports. His presence guarantees television ratings, merchandise sales, and sponsorship deals. Losing him, even in a blockbuster trade, would mean more than just a roster shakeup. It would impact the entire financial ecosystem surrounding the team. The Warriors, already a commercial powerhouse, would see their global reach multiply overnight if LeBron joined their ranks. For NBA executives, the marketing potential of a Curry-LeBron partnership is astronomical, rivaling the cultural influence once held by Michael Jordan's Bulls or the Showtime Lakers of the 1980s. However, beneath the surface of speculation and fantasy lies a sobering truth. Both players are entering the later stages of their careers. While Curry continues to defy expectations with his shooting and conditioning, and LeBron still dominates despite his age, time remains undefeated. Any potential partnership would come with a short window of opportunity. The Warriors would need to balance their long-term plans with the short-term payoff of adding another superstar, while the Lakers would face the daunting task of rebuilding a post-LeBron identity in an unforgiving market that demands results. As social media amplifies every rumor, fans have turned into amateur analysts, proposing mock trades and dream lineups. Hashtags like #CurryLeBron and #LakersLegacy have trended globally, reflecting the magnitude of the story. Yet amid the excitement, there's a growing sense of melancholy among Lakers fans. The thought of seeing LeBron leave, especially to a Western Conference rival, is painful. For them, it's not just about losing a superstar, it's about losing the belief that their team remains at the center of the basketball universe. In a city built on stars, the idea of losing one to a rival feels almost cinematic in its tragedy. In the coming weeks, the noise surrounding the rumor is expected to grow louder. Training camps, media days, and preseason interviews will offer opportunities for both LeBron and Curry to address, or sidestep, the speculation. Until then, fans are left to read between the lines, searching for meaning in every word, every smile, every subtle gesture. For Lakers supporters, the hope is simple, that their leader remains loyal, that the purple and gold continue to shine, and that the rumors fade into nothing more than a fleeting off-season fantasy. But in today's NBA, where star players wield unprecedented power, anything is possible. And that uncertainty is what keeps the league and its fans on edge. As the days unfold and the frenzy surrounding a potential Curry-LeBron partnership refuses to cool down, the narrative begins to shift. It's no longer just about what fans want, it's about what could actually happen behind closed doors. While both stars remain silent, their body language, cryptic social media posts, and comments from close associates have become the fuel for a firestorm of speculation. The NBA ecosystem is now dissecting every detail, every handshake, every glance, searching for meaning in a league where silence often speaks louder than words. LeBron's reputation as a master strategist, someone who orchestrates moves with surgical precision, has only added to the intrigue. Could this be one of his final, masterful plays before the curtain falls on his legendary career? Inside sources claim that LeBron's inner circle has been discussing legacy moves, scenarios that could redefine his impact beyond championships. For years he's been compared to Jordan, Magic, and Kobe. But a partnership with Curry would be something else entirely, a fusion of dominance and artistry, ego and humility, fire and light. The NBA hasn't seen anything like it. This potential union isn't about rivalry, it's about evolution. For Curry, it could mean proving that his system-based success in Golden State can thrive anywhere. For LeBron, it could mean the chance to transcend the sport one last time, merging two philosophies that have reshaped basketball in the 21st century. Imagine an offense where Curry's gravity bends the defense like light around a black hole, while LeBron orchestrates with chess-like precision. Meanwhile, within the Warriors organization, quiet unease brews. Reports suggest that while the front office recognizes Curry's loyalty, they're concerned about the longevity of the current roster. Klay Thompson's uncertain future, Draymond Green's volatility, and the inconsistencies of the younger players have created internal tension. The dynasty that once felt unbreakable now shows cracks beneath the surface. If the Warriors can't offer Curry a realistic path to contention, what's left to keep him anchored? Loyalty has always been his defining trait, but even loyalty has limits when legacy is on the line. And if LeBron, the NBA's ultimate closer, offers him a chance to rewrite history, the temptation could be too great to ignore. The Lakers, on the other hand, stand on the precipice of transformation. The franchise has been searching for a new identity since the 2020 championship. Aging stars, inconsistent performances, and the endless pressure of being LeBron's team have taken their toll. But with Bronny James potentially entering the league soon, and LeBron's clear desire to remain competitive while playing alongside his son, Los Angeles could become the center of a cosmic realignment. Adding Curry would turn that narrative into something bigger, something mythical. The Lakers wouldn't just be a team, they'd become a cultural phenomenon, a living documentary of basketball evolution. Analysts are divided on whether such a move is even feasible under NBA cap rules, but feasibility has rarely stopped LeBron before. From Miami to Cleveland to Los Angeles, every time skeptics said, impossible, he found a way to make the improbable a reality. And with the modern NBA's new emphasis on player empowerment, the question isn't can it happen, but rather how far would both players go to make it happen. The era of quiet front office deals is long gone. Stars today move mountains with a single phone call, and few have the gravitational pull of LeBron James and Stephen Curry. But beneath all the glitter and excitement lies an undercurrent of risk. Pairing two megastars doesn't guarantee chemistry. LeBron's methodical control of the ball might clash with Curry's free-flowing chaos. Would they adapt? Could they coexist without compromising what makes each of them great? For some, this potential union represents the final evolution of teamwork, a symbiosis between two basketball philosophies. For others, it's a fragile fantasy that could implode under the weight of its own expectations. Every dynasty starts with hope, but many end with heartbreak. The stakes, both emotional and historical, couldn't be higher. And yet, that's precisely what makes this story so irresistible. In a league obsessed with drama, this possible alliance feels like a once-in-a-lifetime chapter. The world isn't just watching, it's holding its breath. If this partnership were to happen, it would redefine not just the next season, but the very idea of competition in the NBA. For fans of the Lakers and Warriors alike, the lines between loyalty and ambition are blurring. What does it mean to chase greatness when greatness itself changes form? The answer may come sooner than anyone expects, and when it does, the entire basketball universe will never be the same again. The conversation surrounding a potential Curry-LeBron partnership has reached a fever pitch, and at this stage it's no longer confined to analysts or fan theories. It's entered locker rooms, boardrooms, and even the consciousness of NBA executives who quietly admit that such a move would be seismic. The whispers are louder than ever. Meetings, phone calls, private dinners, all suggesting that something monumental could be brewing. The question isn't just whether it's possible, but whether either player could walk away from the chance to create basketball's greatest spectacle. What was once an impossible fantasy is now a legitimate discussion inside the league's most powerful circles. And behind the curtain, those circles are expanding. Insiders claim that both camps, LeBron's and Curry's, are exploring ways to align their futures without destroying their respective legacies. LeBron, nearing the twilight of his career, remains obsessed with controlling his narrative. Every move he's made has been calculated, strategic, designed to expand his influence both on and off the court. Curry, on the other hand, is more reserved, content to let his game speak for itself. But lately, even he seems restless. The Warriors' struggles have exposed vulnerabilities that once felt unthinkable. Their dynasty, while historic, feels trapped between eras, too experienced to rebuild, yet too inconsistent to dominate. That emotional fatigue might be the silent factor that pushes Curry toward something new, something radical. The Lakers, aware of the growing possibility, have reportedly begun exploring hypothetical cap scenarios that could accommodate a star like Curry. The logistics are nightmarish: massive contracts, luxury tax penalties, and the politics of tearing down existing rosters. But when has the NBA ever been about restraint when faced with spectacle? If this union brings ratings, money, and legacy, every obstacle becomes negotiable. Behind the scenes, the league office itself might secretly welcome it. A Curry-LeBron pairing wouldn't just shatter records, it would redefine the entertainment value of the NBA worldwide. Imagine every arena sold out months in advance, every game a cultural event, every highlight a viral moment rewriting the story of modern basketball. But make no mistake, such a move would leave casualties. The Warriors fanbase, one of the most loyal in sports, would be divided to its core. For years, Curry represented the heart and soul of their identity: humility, teamwork, and joy. Leaving for the Lakers, historically one of Golden State's rivals, would feel like betrayal to some. Yet others might see it as the natural evolution of greatness. After all, even legends must seek new mountains to climb. For Curry, the idea of closing his career alongside LeBron might represent not defection, but transcendence. A chance to show that his magic wasn't tied to one system, one coach, or one dynasty. LeBron, meanwhile, would see in Curry the final ingredient to complete his basketball alchemy. He shared the floor with many superstars: Wade, Kyrie, Davis, but none with Curry's gravitational power. Curry doesn't just stretch defenses, he reshapes them. He changes time and space on the court. For LeBron, who has always thrived on reading the game's geometry, the pairing could unlock an entirely new dimension. Imagine LeBron driving to the rim as defenders hesitate, knowing Curry lurks behind the arc, or Curry darting through screens as LeBron orchestrates from the top of the key. The synergy writes itself. It's the kind of pairing that could obliterate defensive schemes and redefine offensive balance for a generation. Still, there's fear among purists. They argue that such a move would distort the league's competitive equilibrium, creating a supernova too bright for others to compete with. The NBA has seen super teams before, but this would be different. It wouldn't just be a collection of stars, it would be a convergence of two basketball ideologies that dominated different decades. The art of spacing meeting the science of control. The freedom of motion meeting the structure of power. If this alliance were to materialize, it might not only dominate the scoreboard but also the philosophy of basketball itself. And then there's the personal dimension. Both men are family-oriented, brand-conscious, and aware of their influence beyond basketball. Their legacies extend into business, philanthropy, and cultural relevance. For them, this partnership would symbolize more than just basketball, it would be the merging of two empires. Together, they'd form a narrative larger than championships. One about unity, reinvention, and control over destiny. Yet, deep down, they both know that history is a double-edged sword. Every decision to chase greatness comes with the risk of rewriting the past. Would fans remember them as revolutionaries, or as icons who couldn't resist rewriting perfection? As speculation intensifies, fans have begun drawing parallels to other sports. Messi joining Ronaldo, Federer teaming with Nadal, scenarios that feel too surreal to exist. And yet, this one feels within reach. Maybe that's why the world can't stop watching. Because if there's one thing more powerful than dominance, it's the dream of witnessing the impossible. For now, there's no confirmation, no denial, just tension in the air, the kind that precedes history. Whether it ends in fireworks or silence, one thing is certain. The moment LeBron and Curry decide to speak, the entire world will stop to listen. The NBA has seen plenty of rumors over the decades, but none have shaken the basketball world quite like this one. The potential alliance between Steph Curry and LeBron James continues to evolve from fantasy into fascination, and from fascination into something that feels dangerously close to reality. The conversation no longer centers around if it could happen, but how. For Lakers fans, the thought of welcoming Curry into the purple and gold feels like destiny colliding with history. For Warriors loyalists, it feels like watching the unthinkable, their franchise cornerstone possibly joining forces with the man who tormented them in multiple finals. Yet behind every rumor there's always a pulse, and that pulse seems to be beating faster with every passing day. Whispers around league circles have begun suggesting that this idea, while still in the realm of speculation, has taken on a structure. Some insiders hint that the Warriors' front office has been quietly assessing their long-term options, with Draymond Green's contract and Klay Thompson's uncertain future leaving cracks in the once unbreakable foundation. Meanwhile, the Lakers, ever the opportunists, are closely monitoring the situation. LeBron James' inner circle has reportedly been in casual contact with mutual representatives connected to Curry's camp. It's nothing official, but it's enough to keep the rumor mill alive. Every phone call, every subtle meeting, every vague comment becomes fuel for the fire. From a basketball standpoint, it's both genius and chaos. The idea of merging two of the most cerebral players in league history seems almost unfair. LeBron, the mastermind with court vision unlike anyone before him. Curry, the gravitational anomaly whose shooting reshaped how defenses even exist. Together they wouldn't just win games, they'd change how the sport is played. Opponents would be forced to reinvent defensive schemes from scratch, while coaches would spend sleepless nights trying to find an answer to a problem that has no precedent. For the Lakers, whose roster is always under scrutiny, such a move could catapult them from a playoff contender to an untouchable powerhouse. But then comes the emotional question: would LeBron truly want to share the spotlight? Despite his reputation as a generous playmaker, LeBron's teams have always revolved around his rhythm. Curry's style, however, is chaos in motion, unpredictable, fluid, and built on instinct. Their games complement each other beautifully on paper, yet the psychological balance could prove fragile in practice. Two basketball minds with that much influence, charisma, and legacy don't just coexist. They orbit each other, sometimes harmoniously, sometimes combustively. The Lakers would need to manage egos, minutes, and the narrative that comes with uniting two of the greatest icons of the modern era. Lakers Nation, of course, has embraced the fantasy with open arms. Social media is flooded with digital mock-ups of Curry in gold and purple, headlines filled with excitement, and fans debating whether such a move could bring another championship to Los Angeles. Some dream of a final act where LeBron and Curry lead the Lakers to banner number 18, cementing the franchise's eternal dominance over Boston. Others caution against the risk that Curry's presence could disrupt the chemistry that LeBron and Anthony Davis worked years to build. But regardless of opinions, one thing is clear. The idea has captured imaginations across the basketball universe. Warriors fans, on the other hand, face an emotional crossroads. For them, Curry is more than a player. He's a symbol, a living embodiment of their golden age. The thought of seeing him in Lakers colors feels sacrilegious, almost painful. Yet even some within the Bay Area fanbase quietly admit that if Curry were ever to leave, it should be for something that transcends loyalty, something that changes the very fabric of the game. And who better than LeBron James to offer that opportunity? A partnership not built on rivalry but on respect. Not on competition but on legacy. Around the league, other players have begun chiming in subtly. Stars like Kevin Durant and Damian Lillard have reportedly reacted privately, recognizing what this would mean for the balance of power in the NBA. Coaches whisper about how no defensive system could prepare for the combination of Curry's perimeter wizardry and LeBron's brute orchestration. Even executives have acknowledged that such a move, while nearly impossible under current salary cap structures, would redefine the league's financial and competitive landscape. For TV networks, advertisers, and global audiences, it would be the most valuable storyline since LeBron's return to Cleveland. Yet beneath the glamour, there's a tension that can't be ignored. LeBron's career clock is ticking. He's chasing time as much as titles. He knows that every season counts double now. For him, this potential alliance represents the ultimate gamble, giving up control for a chance at immortality. For Curry, it's about evolution. He's already conquered the sport's tactical dimension. Now he may be looking for the emotional one, the final challenge that tests not his shooting, but his adaptability, his willingness to reinvent himself once again. Whether or not this dream manifests, it has already done something rare. It's unified the basketball world in anticipation. Fans, journalists, analysts, and even rivals are all drawn to the same question. What if? What if two men who defined an era of opposition decided to end their careers not as rivals, but as allies? It's the kind of narrative that transcends stats, contracts, and logic. Because sometimes in the NBA, the impossible doesn't stay impossible for long. By now, the entire basketball world has entered a state of collective suspense. The speculation surrounding a possible Steph Curry-LeBron James partnership has turned into something larger than sports. It's become a cultural moment. Fans refresh their feeds hourly, insiders drop cryptic hints, and every public appearance from either player is dissected frame by frame. The NBA, a league already built on drama and spectacle, has never seen anticipation quite like this. And at the center of it all, the Los Angeles Lakers remain the gravitational core, the franchise where impossible stories have a history of coming true. Behind closed doors, league executives whisper that preliminary conversations have already taken place. Not official negotiations, but theoretical discussions meant to test the boundaries of what could be done. The Warriors' front office is aware that their dynasty is fading, and that keeping Curry content is now as much about respect as it is about competition. The Lakers, always willing to gamble for greatness, have quietly positioned themselves as the landing spot for legends seeking one final act. It's a story written in purple and gold ink, and the ending seems to shimmer just beyond reach. For Lakers fans, the thought of Curry joining LeBron is both electrifying and surreal. They've watched LeBron battle father time, defy physics, and lead rosters that fluctuated between brilliance and chaos. Yet, despite his enduring greatness, there's an awareness that his window for another title grows narrower each season. Bringing in Curry would not just extend that window, it would blow it wide open. A backcourt featuring the most efficient scorer of his generation alongside the most dominant playmaker of the modern era could elevate Los Angeles to heights unseen since the Showtime era. The Staples Center, or Crypto.com Arena as it's now called, would become the epicenter of basketball history once again. But beneath the euphoria lies a darker undercurrent. Not everyone in the Lakers organization is reportedly thrilled by the idea. Sources close to the team suggest that some within management fear the cost, both financial and emotional. Trading away key young pieces to make room for Curry could jeopardize the team's future, while the personalities involved could lead to internal friction. Anthony Davis, who has been LeBron's running mate for years, could find himself adjusting to a new hierarchy. Would he welcome Curry as an equal, or would the power dynamic tilt toward tension? The Lakers have thrived on harmony. Disrupting that balance could come at a steep price. Meanwhile, the Warriors face their own dilemma. Letting Curry walk, even hypothetically, is sacrilege in the Bay Area. He is the architect of their identity, the face of their revolution. The very thought of him wearing Lakers colors feels like an alternate reality, the kind of nightmare that haunts fans who lived through decades of struggle before their dynasty began. Yet in professional sports, emotion often yields to evolution. The Warriors' front office, analytical and forward-thinking, might view this as the natural cycle of greatness, the passing of one era into another. And if Curry's departure came with mutual respect, they might see it as a graceful transition rather than betrayal. Still, the story is far from simple. NBA insiders like Brian Windhorst and Shams Charania have carefully avoided confirming anything concrete, but their silence speaks volumes. Every vague tweet, every cautious smile during interviews fuels another round of speculation. And every time Curry or LeBron is asked about the other, their answers carry an unsettling ambiguity, respect wrapped in restraint, as though both men are guarding a truth that's not yet ready to surface. Even their body language during All-Star Weekend, where they shared laughs and subtle nods, has been analyzed like coded communication between two future allies. From a strategic perspective, the move makes undeniable sense. The Lakers are an aging team that thrives on experience and star power, while the Warriors are a fading dynasty clinging to nostalgia. A crossover between the two wouldn't just redefine competition, it would merge legacy and ambition. Imagine LeBron orchestrating from the top of the key while Curry weaves through defenders like a phantom, or Curry pulling up from 30 feet as LeBron commands attention in the paint. It's poetry in motion, chaos wrapped in precision, a combination that would send shockwaves across every defensive scheme in the league. Yet, for all its glamour, this scenario isn't without risk. The NBA thrives on parity, and such a pairing could tip the balance of power so drastically that the league might intervene behind the scenes. Television ratings would soar, merchandise would explode, but the narrative would shift. Are fans watching competition, or are they witnessing a predetermined coronation? The Lakers would instantly become both the most loved and the most hated team in sports, embodying the duality of dominance and envy. For LeBron and Curry, that weight could be both thrilling and suffocating. As the rumor persists, one thing has become clear. This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about legacy. Both men are chasing immortality in different ways. LeBron through leadership and longevity, Curry through innovation and transformation. Joining forces would mean rewriting history, not merely adding another ring. It would symbolize unity in an era defined by rivalry. And for the fans, especially those in Los Angeles, it represents the ultimate fantasy, the convergence of two basketball gods wearing the same jersey, chasing one final miracle beneath the lights of Hollywood. The speculation surrounding a potential Curry-LeBron alliance has now evolved beyond rumor. It has become a cultural event, a phenomenon transcending the boundaries of basketball. For Lakers fans, what once felt like an impossible dream has turned into a living, breathing conversation about destiny, power, and the rewriting of NBA history. Every insider comment, every player interaction, every whisper from within league circles adds a new layer to the anticipation. The very idea of Stephen Curry, the face of Golden State's dynasty, potentially joining forces with LeBron James in Los Angeles has forced the entire NBA to hold its breath. What would it mean if two men who defined modern basketball decided that rivalry had run its course? In Los Angeles, the energy is palpable. The Lakers front office, led by Rob Pelinka, is reportedly exploring creative financial structures and trade possibilities that could make the unthinkable a reality. Though such a move seems nearly impossible under the current salary cap, insiders claim that discussions around multi-team trades, player options, and future picks have been quietly circulating. Nothing official exists yet, but within the franchise, hope and strategy are beginning to merge. The Lakers see more than just another championship opportunity. They see a legacy move, one that would cement the organization's reputation as the ultimate destination for basketball immortality. But while the Lakers dream, the Warriors wrestle with something far more emotional. Golden State has built its identity around Curry's humility, brilliance, and loyalty. His name is carved into the DNA of the Bay Area. His story is the fairy tale every fan cherishes. To even imagine him leaving feels sacrilegious. And yet, behind closed doors, team executives are having difficult conversations. After years of battling injuries, inconsistent rotations, and salary cap constraints, the dynasty that once felt invincible now seems mortal. Klay Thompson's uncertain contract situation, Draymond Green's aging presence, and the development of young players like Jonathan Kuminga have created a crossroads. The Warriors must decide whether to rebuild or reinvent, and Curry's decision could dictate their future entirely. Meanwhile, LeBron James remains the master of timing. Every move in his career has been deliberate, every partnership strategic. He's built empires in Cleveland, Miami, and Los Angeles, but this move, should it happen, would eclipse them all. LeBron understands symbolism. Joining forces with his greatest rival would be the ultimate statement. It wouldn't be about proving dominance anymore, it would be about unity, legacy, and evolution. The two most influential players of their generation, together, under the brightest lights in sports, it would be nothing short of mythic. For LeBron, whose career clock continues to tick, Curry represents both an opportunity and an echo, a chance to ensure his story ends not in decline, but in transcendence. The potential implications for the NBA are staggering. Networks would fight for broadcast rights. Ticket sales would skyrocket. Sponsorships would multiply. Every game would feel like a global event, with celebrities, politicians, and sports legends filling arenas just to witness history in motion. Analysts predict that such a pairing could generate billions in revenue for the league, elevating viewership to levels unseen since Michael Jordan's era. The NBA thrives on narratives, and no storyline could match the magnitude of two generational icons joining forces for one final run. It would redefine what super team means and alter the sport's cultural gravity forever. Yet amid all the excitement, questions of identity and loyalty remain. Would Lakers fans truly embrace Curry as one of their own, or would he always be the Warrior who crossed over? Would the Warriors fanbase forgive him for choosing legacy over loyalty? And what of the other players whose careers might be reshaped by this shift? Anthony Davis could find himself adjusting to a reduced offensive role, while the Warriors' remaining stars might struggle to fill the leadership void left behind. Even the league's competitive balance would be thrown into question, as small market teams brace for another era of superstar consolidation. Beyond the statistics and speculation, there's something poetic in this potential partnership. Both Curry and LeBron represent contrasting philosophies that have shaped the NBA's evolution. LeBron symbolizes power, control, and the mastery of every dimension of the game. Curry embodies creativity, finesse, and the revolution of space and motion. Together, they would merge these philosophies into something entirely new, a synthesis of strength and artistry, dominance and joy. It's not just about basketball, it's about legacy, transformation, and the refusal to fade quietly. For now, no official word has been spoken. Both players remain focused on their respective seasons, avoiding direct questions while offering smiles that say more than words ever could. But deep down, fans sense that the silence means something. Because in the NBA, silence often precedes chaos or greatness. And if this story ever crosses from rumor into reality, it will not just rewrite the record books. It will redefine what it means to be a legend. As the season moves forward and speculation grows, one truth remains. Whether Curry stays loyal to Golden State or decides to join forces with LeBron in Los Angeles, the impact will echo across generations. Because no matter where they play, these two men have already done the impossible. They've made the world believe once again that in basketball nothing is truly impossible.